So the next practice that we are doing in the Natural Liberation book is called the Actual Practice of Quiescence, or Shamatha, and it's listed as instructions on the quiescence with signs. Now, signs means you have some object of focus that you're focusing on. The object can be a physical object, as it is in this case, or it can be a mental object, or a variety of things. So a mantra, yes, it could be a mantra. So there's a variety of things, but in this case, it's a small physical object. So I went to read this section to you. It says, first cultivate your motivation. Remember, we said cultivate your motivation to begin with. This is very important to Padmasambhava. First cultivate your motivation by thinking, may all sentient beings throughout space achieve perfect awakening. In order that this may happen, it is in this very life, at this very time, and upon this very cushion, may I achieve this precious, unsurpassable state. Very focused on the goal. In order to fulfill the needs of beings, however they may be trained, I shall cultivate the Mahayana Dharma. In conjunction with Guru Yoga, which we will do later, settle your body, speech, and mind in their natural states. Know that positioning the body with 7 attributes of Vairochana, so this is the posture, serves as a basis for all meditative objects. While maintaining them, place in front of you a small object, such as a stick or a pebble. So you can put that out there either on the floor if you're sitting on the floor, a cushion, or on a table in front of you, whatever works for you. Gaze at it steadily without closing your eyes. So this is part of the importance of meditating with your eyes open. This is one of these you can't do with your eyes closed. Okay? At the same time, place your attention upon it steadily, clearly and lucidly, without being distracted by anything else. So the goal is to focus. Do not strenuously thrust your attention at it. Remember the wild horse illustration. Vividly settle your awareness simply on the unwavering meditative support without succumbing to any ordinary distractions. Remain clear, gently release into a sense of comfort, and relax a bit. Okay? Single-pointed, calm, abiding. So we're relaxing into this, we're letting it happen. Now sometimes we need to focus a little bit, strengthen the degree to which we're focused on something, but then we again relax a bit. So actually alternating is a very useful technique sometimes. Meanwhile, rest the mind naturally, unwaveringly, and steadily upon that meditative support. Meditative support here is the object, without entering into the dispersal of thoughts. The text, Transforming Compassion into the Path, states, meditate in clarity and joy. Okay? Clarity and joy. So there's this good feeling that comes from doing this. Cutting off mental dispersion during many short sessions. So he recommends doing short sessions, lots of short sessions in doing your meditation practice. Rather than doing one long one, it's much better to do several short sessions during the day. So if you can do a morning meditation, and then do an evening meditation, and during the day, if you've got breaks, if you work in a job, for example, where you have a coffee break, a lunch break, a coffee break, it depends on where you live as to whether or not that is likely to happen. But anytime you can take a short break and do a short meditation, it doesn't have to be long. The important thing is it's good quality. So you just focus your attention for a short period of time. Again, you're training your mind. Over and over, many, many short times. Even a stoplight. You come up to a stoplight. You have to stop, rest, focus on the light. Changes, okay, meditation's over, go ahead. So little things like that can also work for your practice. It says, by having short sessions, you do not succumb to the problems of laxity and excitation. Those are the two common problems. Laxity, you get drowsy. Excitation is monkey mind. Okay? So those are the two most common problems people experience. And by having many sessions, a faultless meditative state arises. So train in that way. When bringing the session to a close, do not arise from it abruptly. Rather, with a sense of consciousness, gently integrate it with your behavior and transform this into the path. Let all your conduct be like that of a person with a concussion who is afraid of getting bumped. And consciously lead your life in a meditative fashion. Do that for 3 days. Okay? So again, just focusing your attention, but at the end, get up, let everything else continue as if it is all part of your meditation. So we continue in that way. Okay, so this is the shamatha with small object. So again, we begin by setting our intention, our goal for our practice for this session. And then we take refuge, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, 3 times. And then shamatha with signs. So take a few deep breaths. That's a good way to begin a shamatha practice, is maybe 2 or 3 deep breaths to help you relax, calm down, attain that state that we were practicing in the last practice of the still body, speech, and mind. Okay, so that becomes a good way to begin. And then focus your attention on a small object, whether it's a pebble or some other object, and you pick your point of focus and just make that where you maintain that focus during the entire time of your meditation. And if you lose that focus, as soon as you become aware of that, then you refocus your attention once again on that object. So you let go of whatever the distraction happened to be and refocus your attention and just continue. At the end then, we dedicate the merit for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then post-meditation, as described by Padmasambhava, we arise gently and we go about leading your life in a meditative fashion, to use his words there. Okay? Okay, so this is the stages of shamatha meditation. I actually mentioned this during the one of the earlier sessions when we were looking at the different Buddhist traditions as a part of the history and the principles and so forth. But to give you a little bit more detail about these. Now, this is the focus of shamatha if you really push this all the way. Okay, so the ultimate goal is to achieve this 9th stage here. Now in Tibetan Buddhism we typically don't push it that far, but I think it's helpful to understand what the stages are, description of what the stages involve, and so forth. So the first one is called placement, placing the mind on the breath, and this, again, with shamatha, usually that's the way we begin. The object of focus is the breath. So placing the mind on the breath, disengaging from thoughts and emotions, letting go of concepts, balancing breathing, awareness of thoughts that do occur, and holding the posture. We're able to keep the focus without a major distraction for about 21 breaths. So as a measure in here, I'll give you an idea of how you're doing. So you can use a counter or prayer beads or something like that rather than trying to count in your mind while you're doing this, which would be a huge distraction. Use something else to do the counting with, and then count to see how you do on that. The second stage is called continual placement. So originally you're focusing on something and trying to maintain that for a short period of time. Continual placement, basically a longer period of time. So here we're developing some confidence in meditating. We're able to return to the breath when distractions and discursive thoughts do occur without losing our mindfulness and forgetting to breathe altogether. So we're able then to remain undistracted for about 108 breaths. So a full mala cycle all the way around a mala when you're doing this. And this can take a while, several minutes to do this, because typically you're breathing slowly as you do this. And so, but it is a longer period of time. Stage 3, repeated placement. Only occasional thoughts break through. Now we're able to focus on breathing, being present, and achieve stability by never fully being distracted. And we have awareness that enables us to catch thoughts as they begin, if not before. Okay, so then those thoughts never really manifest. As soon as we sense them beginning to come up, we're able to refocus ourselves.
Even when it's just a word or two?
Even just a word or two.
It's not one word, it's another one.
We're able to refocus immediately. Okay?
You never lose your focus.
Stage 4, close placement. Abiding without distraction, confidence in the ability to remain undistracted, aware of the texture or experience of the meditation, a quality of joy and ease. Remember I mentioned that one before? And aware and stable, but not completely clear mind. Okay, so we're really developing a level here of stability and some clarity in the meditation. Typically in Tibetan Buddhism, we're looking at stage 4 or 5 is a good level to be able to attain. Okay? So 5 is called taming. It brings more clarity, stability, and clarity feel natural. Though not perfectly still, there's a harmony and a synergy, again, that create joy, bliss, and liberation. So when you get to this level where you're beginning, you've got this clarity, this stability, and you have this really good sense of joy or bliss that develops as a part of that. In the Tibetan practice, you've achieved a level that is sufficient for going on into some of the other kinds of practices. But continuing here, stage 6, pacifying, is tranquil and vibrant, joyous and clear. It still requires subtle adjustments between tight and loose. There's an experience not only of mind's natural harmony, but also its inherent strength. There's excitement about the possibilities. At stage 7, thoroughly pacifying, we still have a few subtle thoughts, mostly about pleasures. They may be attached to how good meditation feels. Remaining thoughts and emotions are seduced into the heat of meditation and dissolved without effort. So they just naturally dissolve as a part of the meditation. At stage 8, one-pointed, there are remnants of thoughts and emotions that have all evaporated. We are completely awake, clear, and knowing. We're undistracted. We have all attributes of perfection, yet still make a slight effort at the beginning of the meditation to focus on breathing. Okay? So it takes just a moment to get focused. After that, we're there. Stage 9, equanimity, is perfection. Here, meditation is completely fluid and spontaneous. Mind is strong, stable, clear, and joyous. We can meditate beyond time. In other words, time is not an issue. We can stay focused just as long as we want. There are no traces of thoughts or emotions. We are in union with the present moment. There's a sense of equanimity without attachment or aversion. It's magnanimous and expansive, centered and confident. Okay, we are there. Perfection. Okay? So these are the stages. These are the goals to give you a sense of where you are as well as the goals that we're trying to achieve if we pursue this all the way, which is part of the goal within the path of individual liberation. But as I pointed out in the Tibetan path, we don't need to go all the way before transitioning into some other forms of practices.